Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Homestead Knitting Podcast. My name's Danielle, and I'm the maker and designer behind Homestead Knitting. If you're new here, thanks so much for tuning in, and if you're a returning viewer, thanks for watching. So it's been about, I think, 2 months since I've sat down to podcast. May and June have been a wild ride for me and my boyfriend. There's been a lot going on in the background. For those of you who do not know, I have chickens and I live on an acreage, so we had a coyote come through and I lost a few chickens, unfortunately, to the coyote. Our dog had to go to the vet for an ear infection. We're taking him back to the vet this week for another ear infection, but we found out he has a food allergy now that he has developed, so I'm trying to find him food for that he will eat. So far I have to make him homemade dog food. That'll be the only thing he eats right now. We tried 2 different kinds of kibble for him. He won't eat either. We even tried buying like the raw like dog food from the pet store. He didn't like that either. He wouldn't eat it. 2 of my chickens got into a fight. They were both like in the chicken coop, like sitting on eggs, and then they got into a fight. So one of them got all beat up. So she's in isolation right now and watching her carefully, hoping that'll be good. My sister came to visit from Australia. She came for a month, and one of the gifts she brought me was this cute little mug, so I'm using this today. And I just have some iced tea in here. I made some strawberry kiwi loose leaf tea. Also, if you hear any of my chickens in the background, I'm so sorry. I have the windows open because it is a little bit warm today and the sun's in and out, so if the lighting's off, I'm sorry. The sun's just behind the clouds. Yeah, so I was gonna sit down to record this video earlier, however, this week has just been a disaster for me already. My boyfriend went to work a couple days ago, and while he was at work, the alternator in his truck started to go, so he ended up coming home, and then we were trying to figure out all that, and then the day like I was going to record, my boyfriend was at home trying to get something figured out for the truck because we're still waiting for the new alternator to come in, and just trying to do yard work. My garden's not doing great this year, else I would have like inserted some footage. Just the weather's been very rainy, and it's been very draining emotionally and mentally, just the rain and everything else going on. Unfortunately, it's been like one after the other. On a more positive note, my boyfriend did take me out fishing after Canada Day and after July 4th, but like just after that. So we're in there like first week of June maybe? Or was it just before July 4th? I think it was Canada Day weekend we went fishing. Anyways, we got to go out fishing. We both had a really great time. I caught some fish. Unfortunately, all of them were, what do you call this? Too small to keep, so it was just catch and release for us. That's okay, I still had a great time. Yeah, okay, so let's get into it. So I am actually wearing a fasten off for once. This is, I'll just sit up for you to see, the Pico Noir T by Thornton Knits. I got to test knit this pattern. Okay, what do I want to say about it? This is knit with fingering weight yarn. It's size inclusive. It's a cropped tee. It has this cute little like ruffled collar. It has an I-cord v-neck. It has a v-neck with the I-cord edging to kind of pull everything in. These little cap sleeves. It also has twisted rib on the sleeves and the bottom of the t-shirt. It's also knit bottom up. And then you do the neckline and then the collar and then the sleeves. I actually had a really great time with this. I think I used somewhere between 700 yards. Somewhere between 650 and 700 yards. and I knit the size 4, and I think there's 9 sizes for the pattern, something like that. It's been a while since I knit this, like probably like a month or so ago I knit it. Yeah, it's actually really lightweight. I knit mine out of Knit Picks palette in the colorway Current. It is very lightweight, however it is hot because it is 100% wool and it's hot out today. I'd say it was a fairly easy knit. The only thing I have to say about the pattern is the way it's graded does not work for my body. And nothing against the designer. I think the pattern's graded beautifully because I have seen other testers wearing the same size as me. The only thing is I have a bigger bust, but then I have like a smaller waist, so I feel like there's more fabric in the waist than what I need. So if I were to knit another one of these, I would, number one, make it longer because I don't really wear cropped sweaters as much, and number two, I would cast on for a smaller size, and then I would increase for the right bust size for me, and I'd probably knit the sleeves a little bit longer and then do some more decreases because I don't know if you can tell, but the sleeves are quite large as well. I don't know if it's just because my arms are not as big compared to like what average size for my like bust would be, because a lot of knitting patterns are based on your bust size and then just average size for the rest of your body, but I know I'm not as proportionate as like the average person. Like I'm in this weird body range, like even when I buy clothing from the store, it's kind of just try it on and hope it fits somewhat without having to alter it. So yeah, I actually really like it. I would just have to make some alterations to fit my body better if I were to make another one. So yeah, this is the first thing I finished, and I have one other finished project. Just to be clear, 90% of this was already made. I just had to add the border. So here it is. This is just a Hexagon blanket that I crocheted. The main yarn here is Ice Yarns. I want to say it's Ice Yarns Picasso. And when I saw this, I thought it looked like peacock feathers, so I knew it would be perfect for my mother-in-law because she actually grew up on a farm and they had peacocks when she was kids, and her and all her sisters remember the peacocks. And I felt like the blanket was a little bit small, so I was searching for a color that would match the blanket. So I found this one. I picked it up at Michael's. It's Loops and Threads Impeccable. I don't remember the colorway, but I thought it matched perfectly with the blanket. All I did was when I came to the corner for the first round, I added 2 stitches, and then I didn't add any more stitches for the border. I think I did around 6 rounds or so for the border. And this blanket's big enough that it is good for like your lap. So definitely like a lap gown, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's any larger. If I remember, I will include like a full video of me holding up the blanket so you can see it in full, and then also me wearing the shirt just so you can see exactly how it fits my body. And it's nothing against the designer, it's just the way my body is shaped, and this design is just very boxy, I guess you could say, because there is no waist shaping or anything. It's just like you basically knit a rectangle. Anyways, those are my 2 finished projects, and I've been knitting. I'll just grab the pattern. So I've been knitting this top, Circus, and the pattern designer is Marie Amelia Designs, and it's actually a free Ravelry download. And you can see here in the picture exactly what it looks like. So it's a raglan style top. It has a little bit of ribbing here. The sleeves are completely lace. It actually comes with 3 different sleeve options. So you could do short sleeves, the elbow, or full length. And it also includes these beautiful lace panel on both sides. And last time I showed this off, I was still working on the yoke of this sweater. I'm completely done. I've also finished both of my sleeves. This beautiful lace. And here's what it looks like on the sides. Ooh. With the lace. I absolutely love this pattern. I am knitting this on 4.5mm needles, and it's a fingering weight pattern. I'm using Knit Picks palette, actually in the exact same color. I'm using Current again as the top I'm wearing. So far it's been fairly quick. After I finished the yoke for the top, it's actually been a really quick make, which I'm really surprised about. And this pattern is graded 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in 10 sizes, so it ranges from a 28-inch bust all the way up to, oh wait, oh that's centimeters, oops. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so the top is graded from 34 3/4 inch bust all the way up to 63 inches. And they recommend anywhere from 2 to almost 5 inches of positive ease. So if you're on the bigger side, it might be a little bit small with the obviously it's going to be small with recommended ease. However, I honestly like negative ease in my tops because of how my body is shaped. And this pattern is actually really wonderfully done. It gives you yarn estimates for all different sleeve measurements. And the only thing is, if you are a beginner knitter or if you've never knit from charts only, you will have to know how to read charts, because the whole yoke of the sweater is charted and you have to read the chart and do the increases for the lace in that. And that can be kind of confusing if you have never worked from charts before. You also have to read carefully because it tells you to do the increases sometimes, and then sometimes it'll tell you to just follow the chart in pattern for so many rows. And then the sleeves are all charted, and then same with the body. You knit the body and you'll just follow the lace chart. It's actually easy though for the lace. The actual like knitted lace portions are really easy. I think I've only knit lace once or twice before, but I found this lace really easy to knit and much easier than what I've done before. And it's been actually a really good pattern because after I finished the yoke, there's a very small section of lace. So I don't actually have to pay that much attention, just look at the chart, knit it, and then you just knit like front and back is just plain stockinette. So I've been having a great time with it. And yeah, I'm very excited for it. Maybe I'll finish by the end of summer. What else do I have for projects? I have 3 other projects, I guess. So this one I'm really not sure what to do with. I'm very disappointed. So I knit a sleeve for the cardigan that I've made, where I've made the front and the back. It's made out of this ribbed pattern, front and back, and the neckbands or like the button band is done, I guess. I just have the sleeves left, so I knit one sleeve separate, and actually with the length, the only thing is when I seamed it up, I found it too tight to get on and off of my hand for the cuff, and in the arm I found it fit really funny right where it was going to connect to the sweater. So I'm back to the drawing board. I'm going to be frogging this again, and I think this will be the 5th time maybe I'll be attempting to knit sleeves for that cardigan I've made. Of course, I couldn't just follow a written pattern. I have to be difficult and try to make something of my own, so it needs a few more stitches to fit nicely around the arm and also a little bit more for the cuff. But we're getting progress made, so, you know, like, lesson learned. Trying again. I also cast on a pair of mittens, however, my gauge is slightly off, and I'm using Tin Can Knit's World's Simplest Mittens. I knit the cuff on 4mm needles, and I knit the main body of the mitts on 5mm needles. However, I'm knitting the largest size for the mittens, and I'm coming out to about 4 1/4 instead of 4 inches, so I'm going to rip back and try again, and I hope my gauge will be on point this time. And for the yarn, I'm using Knit Pick Stroll. I don't remember the gray color, and then this is the Red Heart and Soul in the colorway Skyscraper. There we go. So I started knitting the thumb gusset here, but I'm not a big fan of the mitts are a little bit large, so I'm going to rip them back. However, because I'm already using my 4.5mm needles for the lace top, I'm going to just leave this one for now, and I will come back to it after I have my needles free, and then I can easily knit up two mittens very quickly. Okay, so I do have one other project to show you, and then I have one gauge swatch. Sorry, my brain is like everywhere today. It's not that I haven't wanted to sit down to podcast, it's just mentally I have not been in the right headspace, and that's why it's taken me so long to sit down to podcast again, and now I feel like I'm just very out of it. So I did knit a swatch for a flax sweater, and it's actually going to be for my mom, and I don't remember the exact name of this yarn, but I did pick it up off of a buy and sell page, and it is I want to say it's a merino wool and mohair mix. It's definitely very pretty. It's like a magenta pink color. It's a worsted weight yarn, and it has like it's soft, but it definitely has a slightly more rustic wool feel, and it definitely has a bit of grip to it. I don't know if it's because of the mohair, because I've never knit with mohair yet by itself or anything, but I really like the look of it so far. And this is just a gauge swatch I made. I figured I'll make the gauge swatch, and then when I'm ready to cast on the actual sweater, I'll have an idea of what size I need for needles and that. So yeah, I made a gauge swatch. And the last project I have been working like a mad person on, or like crazy on, is that sweater I'm making for my boyfriend. This is all made with yarn from Ice Yarns. I know this gray yarn is alpaca something. Oh, Ice Yarn Zerda alpaca, and it's acrylic alpaca mix. And then the red and the black yarn in this sweater is Ice Yarn's Favorite Wool, and it is 50 wool, 50 acrylic. So here's the bottom ribbing, chevron with a pocket. Then we have the main body of the sweater. I've just started on it's gonna eventually form a hood. I tried it on quick. So far everything looks good. And I've actually finished both the sleeves. So they're a little bit bulky right in here where I added the chevron, but I think it'll be cute for like winter and that, because this is a worsted weight sweater, so it's gonna be very heavy. I also have to weave in the ends on my sleeves, but that's okay, I'll get there eventually. So yeah, I actually think they turned out pretty cute. I'm actually all so proud of myself too. I don't even know how I managed to make the chevron look so good. I was worried it was gonna kind of look more like a wave, but I can tell it's definitely like a chevron. It's just a little bit more spaced out than I'd like. And then of course the hood's coming along, so this project is almost finished and I'm very excited. For the most part, I've made this project with a 4.5mm hook, and it has been going on for well over a year now. I've been working on this sweater because my boyfriend's a different size than me, and when I started this sweater project, nobody had designed hoodies. Actually, I shouldn't say nobody. I knew of one, and the only sweater pattern I knew of was by Max the Knitter. However, it had color work in it, and it had like bunnies or something like that on it. I knew it wasn't gonna be worthwhile for me to purchase the pattern because I wasn't gonna actually use like the main base of the pattern, because it was going to be graded for like the color work with engraved in the pattern, and I just didn't want any of the color work, so it was going to be more work for me versus just trying to design something from scratch, because I find it a lot harder to try to modify patterns than if I just go with my own numbers and my own gauge and my own yarn. But anyways, that's just me. I don't know how everybody else does it. I don't like modifying patterns nearly as much as everybody else. Alright, so last but not least, I do have some yarn acquisitions, as well as like some other things I picked up. I also want to mention I did knit on my knit blanket, however I didn't bring it over and I don't want to grab it out, so I might show that next time. I didn't make that much progress, maybe like 8 rows or something like that. Like, I started the bubbles and I really am not enjoying that stitch pattern, so I haven't picked it up since, and I also have to wind more yarn for it, and winding yarn right now is like the bane of my existence. I don't know why, just I am not enjoying winding yarn at all. Like, when it comes to starting a new project or having to wind yarn, I'd rather just start the new project. Okay, anyways, yarn I've recently acquired, as well as some other things. I did place an order with Knit Picks, and I ordered 2 skeins of the Hawthorne fingering weight, which is kettle dyed yarn. It is 357 yards per 100 grams, and it's 80% superwash Highlands wool and 20% polyamide. Machine wash, tumble dry. And this color pink is called Camilla, and this blue one is Midwinter. I picked both skeins up. I'm thinking either I'm gonna make my parents socks for Christmas, or I'm gonna make both of them a hat, like my mom the pink and my dad the blue, because these are colors that they would just wear normally every day. However, I'm very undecided on what I'm gonna do, so we will see. There's a long ways between now and then, so I'll decide then. I also picked up some Knit Picks palette, which is fingering weight as well, and this is just 100% Highlands wool. I picked up the colorway Autumn Heather because I messed up a hat a while ago for my boyfriend where I knit him the Messelberg hat, and I accidentally felted it in the dryer because I wanted to wash it and then dry it and try to shrink it a little bit because it turned out a little bit big. But I forgot about it in the dryer, so I like felted 100%, but honestly I kind of have to laugh at it because that is totally something that I would do, just like start doing something and then I go to do something else and I like forget the original task that was going on, because that's me in a nutshell. I forget things all the time, and I'm always doing small things like that, so honestly the two of us had to laugh about it. And the other colorway I picked up is Aurora Heather, and it's this dark green. It's absolutely stunning. I picked up 6 of these, so I have enough to make a sweater. I should also mention it's 231 yards per 50 grams, which is 1 ball. And I picked up 9 of these, so I have enough to make a sweater out of this yarn, as well as a hat for my boyfriend again. The other things I have acquired are actually quite a few pattern books. So these ones are actually pretty unique. There are some old pattern books. There's this one with the little lamb chop. Is it a toy? It says TV puppet. There's a knitted version and a crochet version included in the little booklet. And the other one is all about gloves and mitts. And on the back, it gives you an idea of the different patterns that are that it comes with. And these are actually vintage, and so my boyfriend's aunt passed away end of March, beginning of April, and one of the kids was cleaning out the house and mentioned that they found these pattern books. So my boyfriend's grandma mentioned that I knit and crochet and that I would probably be interested in them, so they saved them for me. And the deal was that one of the kids wanted mitts, so I'm gonna make some mittens. I'll probably do something like this, but just plain. And my boyfriend, I was comparing hand sizes because I have smaller hands, and most people in this family have hands a lot larger than him. And I was measuring his hands and I measured mine just to kind of gauge like what size of mittens I should make for his cousin there. And then he goes, "Oh, are you making me mittens?" And I was like, "Oh, like, did you want mittens?" He's like, "Well, yeah, I want mittens." So I was like, "Okay, you can have mittens too. Like, they're just for your cousin, but I guess I'll make you mittens too." And it was just kind of cute because he didn't say he ever wanted mittens, and I didn't think he'd ever wear them if I made them, so that's why I never made him any. So yeah, my boyfriend wants mitts, and his cousin also requested mitts. I also found the Knitting Stitch Bible. I picked this up from the thrift store. It was $4.50, originally US $30, so I was very excited. It comes with a bunch of different stitches, like ribbed cables, lace, intarsia, color work. So I was very, very excited to be able to just flip through this and just see if there's any stitches I've never seen before or any knitting techniques that I've never seen. Especially when it comes to intarsia, I love the look of it. I haven't knit intarsia myself yet. I do have one project where it's this cardigan, and the front, it's knit in panels. So there's two front panels and a back panel. The back panel is just plain stockinette. And then the two front panels have like the argyle pattern on the front, and they're knit in tarsia. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. It's a pattern by Marley Bird and Anne Burke, and I loved it. Ever since it came out, I really loved the look of it. However, I have never knit intarsia successfully yet, so it's definitely something that I want to practice. I also found this Company's Coming knitting easy fun for everyone with 75 different patterns. And again, I just like to look through these pattern books and see if there's anything in them that I might not have thought of. I also like to see how different patterns are knit. Like there's one for a tea cozy, there's placemats, sweaters, socks, there's blankets in here. And I like seeing different patterns. I like looking at how patterns are knit up and just kind of getting ideas from them. I don't always per se like patterns for like the certain yarn weight it's made with, or just kind of getting an idea of like how did they make this sweater, and then being able to take that idea and translate it into something of my own. I've also purchased two bags, project bags I should say. I found this maker on Etsy, and they are Longview Creations, and they did have a sale over Canada Day, so both bags I purchased were 25% off each. So I purchased this little sock-sized bag, I guess. It holds at least 2 skeins though. And it has the apples, blueberries, it has like lemons, eggs, cherries, carrots, bananas, tomatoes, strawberries. And I thought it was super, super cute. So they have in their shop a bunch of different designs, and their bags come in 3 sizes. So there's this size, the next size up, which I did buy one, and then they also have an extra large size, but you can get it. And I picked up the Christmas themed one, and it does have a nice little handle here, and both of them are just a zipper. And this one's supposed to be good for like sweater sized bags. I haven't used it yet, however I thought once I cast on that Flax sweater for my mom, I'm gonna put it in here because it'll be a Christmas gift for her anyways. And I picked up the Christmas pattern, I saw the snow globes, and I fell in love with them. So yeah, that is all I have to share with you today. Hopefully I will be back before a month goes by again to sit down and podcast, and I hope I'll have some good progress made, or maybe even another finished object by the time I sit down to podcast again. So thanks for watching. See you later.